If you're into Game Boy, there's a good chance you'll like my new Neo Geo Pocket Color series too. Every Thursday, I'm reviewing a new Neo Geo game. Just join the PO3 Patreon or become a channel member here on YouTube. Ages ago, people lived on what was then known as the fifth planet. They were able to use telepathy, teleportation, and telekinesis, powers that were once reserved for gods alone. They called these powers Gaia, and adept users were known as Gaia Masters. You remember this story, right? Following on from the first MegaTen Gaiden game, which we've seen recently in the Game Boy Color series as Revelations the Demon Slayer, we revisit Last Bible, which would have made the first Last Bible the penultimate Bible, surely. Who knows? To find that humanity has been forced to flee the fifth planet to Terra, the third planet, where they fought harrowing wars with the native beasts that lived there. As war so often does, both sides were ravaged to the point where neither side could ever be called the victor. Now the survivors are not fighting for control, they're fighting to stay alive. For 2,000 years, the two races dug into their holes, carving out what meek existences they could. That is, until a messenger arrives in the human king's halls. Graias, the king of the beasts, has been reborn amongst his people. So, in classic King David style, he sends forth emissaries to find every child born on this day and has them all slain. We literally never learn. Last time that happened, someone started a religion around it. 15 years go by, and somehow you survived. That's right, you play as the reincarnated Beast Lord, housed in a human body but raised by the animals. Pretty awesome setup, and a refreshing take on the genre up to this point. Usually, the human king is the one giving the teenager the world-saving mission. Here, he's technically your enemy. The game will feel familiar to anyone who's played Revelations the Demon Slayer on the Game Boy Color, and if you haven't, then why not remedy that immediately? Sadly, this one, originally released way back in 1993 on the DMG, again in Japan only, didn't get a Game Boy Color localization, even though the first one did. This new Japanese exclusive version is fully colorized, with some wicked looking Super Game Boy support too, and it would have been a nice way to round the story off for Western audiences. However, if you are wanting to play the game in English, like I am, the GBC version has actually been fan translated. The patch will just corrupt the 1993 ROM though, so make sure you use the color one. And as always, don't ask me how to do it, please. You fight monsters on the overworld, and when you level up, you'll get an automatic stat boost to both your HP and MP. You'll also get 1 skill point that you can distribute to any of the 5 extra stats: endurance, intelligence, strength, speed, and luck. These are all fairly self-explanatory to anyone who's played an RPG before, so I won't go into them. Suffice to say that I really do like the customization that this offers. The animations that precede a battle are pretty awesome. Some enemies are summoned by a lightning bolt, others by flames. It's just a visual gimmick, but a cool one nonetheless. These battles are mainly quite simple. Your characters can attack, defend, use magic or items, the normal stuff. Returning here is the mechanic where certain beasts may talk to you. It feels a lot more fleshed out and interactive this time though, with monsters asking a series of yes or no questions, and their disposition will change depending on your answers. You may placate some so that they won't fight, or just end up pissing them off further. Not just a wrong answer can do this. If you take too long to reply, a particularly grouchy beast might shout, "Answer me!" and be more inclined to straight up attack you. As your intelligence skill goes up and you become stronger than the local beasts, they'll actually start to plead with you to spare them, or plead with you to join up with you. A really cool, immersive part of the battle sequence that sets this apart from other standard turn-based systems. Also, the auto attack is super speedy. You just select which target you want to strike first, and then the game will just brawl away with itself until one side falls. It goes damn quick though. It's dangerous if you're not strong enough, so bear that in mind. An interesting addition in Last Bible 2 is this notion of the full moon. Pressing select to bring up the main menu, you can see the shape of a moon. It'll be new, crescent, half, full, and so on. If the moon is full, monsters on the overworld will appear more frequently and be more vicious. Your guardian, the lion you see right at the start, tells you that the full moon sends beasts a little wackadoodle, and you gotta watch out. Don't worry too much, as long as you have enough healing, this can actually be a good leveling up opportunity. With an absolutely belting soundtrack that surpasses even how good the first one was, and some lovely animations, character design and backgrounds, with a thoroughly captivating plot, you'll be sure to enjoy Last Bible 2. Even if you do have to play a patched Game Boy Color version, it's well worth your time to get the necessary bits together, especially if you enjoyed the first one.